Yesterday, the New York Rangers continued to find a way to win in the most stressful way possible against their crosstown rivals, the New York Islanders. Now, both teams came into this game with something to fight for. The Rangers hoping to hang on to that first seed in the league, hoping to gain home ice advantage throughout the whole playoffs. Right now, obviously, they're the first seed in the Metro Division, in the East, and in the league. They want that President's Trophy. Right now, both them and the Dallas Stars have one game remaining. However, Dallas trails them by a point. The Hurricanes have 2 games left, but are 3 points behind, so they also have a chance. All 3 are in the race for that President's Trophy. On the other side, the Islanders, they're trying to hang on to that 3rd seed in the Metro Division. They're fighting for not only that 3rd seed in the Metro Division, but also a playoff spot. They haven't yet clinched. They could have clinched had they won the game last night. Right now, Washington, Detroit, and Philadelphia all trailed by 3 points, while Pittsburgh trails by 4. And all those teams have 2 games remaining, except the Philadelphia Flyers, who only have 1. They are essentially they won't be able to get that 3rd Metro seed, but they do still have a shot at making the playoffs. Now, obviously, in the NHL, you get 2 points in the standings for a win, 1 point for an overtime or shootout loss, which personally I hope the NHL does away with soon, and no points for a regulation loss. Among other reasons why this game was interesting, Igor Shesterkin and Ilya Sorokin, both in the net for their respective teams, are good friends off the ice, and the Rangers are looking to bounce back from the 2-game losing streak against these New York Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers. 2 games they really shouldn't have lost this late in the season, and going into the last 4 games of the season, all they had to do is win at least 3 of those games, all against teams that you wouldn't really consider Stanley Cup contenders, to clinch the President's Trophy. They lost the first 2. Luckily for them, they still hold the destiny of their standing, their position in the standings in their hands, as all they have to do is win Monday against the Senators to clinch that President's Trophy. But also in this game, Eric Gustafsson was paired up with Jacob Trouba, and Keandre Miller was paired up with Braden Schneider. Obviously, a different look from the usual Trouba Miller and Schneider Gustafsson pairings that we usually get. And this is going to satisfy some fans who have been clamoring for this change. A lot of people are claiming that the Trouba Miller pairing isn't working. Peter Laviolette had this to say when I asked him about it after the game.
Keandre Miller and Jacob Trouba are usually together, but today Keandre Miller was with Braden Schneider. Why specifically did you choose to change it up?
It was just something that we wanted to look at. They've been together before, and again, it was a change that we had talked about and yesterday in practice, and we decided to stay with it today.
The crowd got going early in this game, chanting for Matt Rempe. It was about 90+% Rangers fans in MSG, higher than usual for this New York State rivalry game. The Rangers got started with some really shaky defense, but Igor Shesterkin able to bail them out. They couldn't capitalize on the power play early on, but then they picked up a bunch of penalties back to back at the end of the first period and the beginning of the second, with Barclay Goodrow picking up a 2-minute penalty, then Kaapo Kakko picking up a 4-minute high sticking penalty at the end of the first period, extending into the second, and then Ryan Lindgren got called for his own penalty for boarding, and somehow the Rangers escaped these back-to-back penalties with the lead. It was Braden Schneider with a shorthanded goal while Ryan Lindgren was in the penalty box. And then basically immediately after that, Pierre Engvall for the New York Islanders scored a goal and answered, tied the game at 1-1. But the New York Rangers did challenge for the offsides. They won that challenge, and so the game continued to stay 1-0 after that. Bo Horvat later in the period missed a huge opportunity off a pass from Matt Barzal, but the Islanders still were able to score 2 goals later in the period, both by Brock Nelson, one of them deflecting off of Igor Shesterkin and then Jimmy Vesey into the net. And at that point, Vincent Trocheck was frustrated, yelling at the refs for some calls he felt should have gone the Rangers' way, and the fans rained down those boos going into the third period as the Islanders led 2-1. Then Ryan Lindgren picked up his second penalty of the game with 13 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the game, and the Islanders' power play once again couldn't convert. Rangers' defense once again shaky, but Igor once again there to bail them out. And after that, Artemi Panarin picked up a penalty that led to an Adam Pelech penalty shot. Igor saved that. Vincent Trocheck got frustrated, pushed Alex Romanov from behind, and just when it seemed like it was getting desperate, Artemi Panarin takes the face-off with 3 minutes 29 seconds to go from Vincent Trocheck and just sinks it into the net to tie the game. And it's a continuation of the Rangers' 5-on-5 struggles as that was their first 5-on-5 goal in over 150 minutes of game time. And it was at a much needed time because the fans erupted at that goal. And just to show you how loud it got in that building at that time, my seat and the table at the press bridge was shaking. And this is also a continuation of Artemi Panarin and Igor Shesterkin arguably being the two biggest contributors to this team at this moment, as Igor also had late saves, big saves against Matt Barzal. It was one of those big windmill saves. And then Casey Cizikas, that helped them send the game to overtime. And about the 5-on-5 struggles, Vincent Trocheck was asked about it after the game, so he said this. He had this to say about it.
I heard Brett say, I don't think anybody's thinking of 5-on-5 we need to score. If we win 4-0, they're all power play goals or 2 shorthanded goals. I don't think anybody cares one way or another. We need to score goals to win games. However they come, that's how they're going to come. And I feel like a lot of times the flow of the game is different. We get a lot of penalty kills. Some games you go up with 3 power play goals and you're more shut down the rest of the game. And you don't score 5-on-5, but it's just the flow of the game. I think we're all just trying to win games however we can.
It's not more 5-on-5 about, I think, just about goals, just about wins.
Continuing on Vincent Trocheck, in overtime, Adam Fox and Trocheck had a 2-on-0, a huge opportunity and a good opening for Vincent Trocheck to score, but he missed. And then Igor with some more big saves to finish off the overtime period. Nobody scored. Coach Peter Laviolette and Vincent Trocheck were both really amazed at how Igor had been playing in this game, and they had this to say about that after the game.
Yeah, he's a big game player, and when we need him most, it seems like he's always stepping up and making the big saves to keep us in games, and he did a lot of that today.
After it was 2-1, Shesty had to come in with some really big saves. Sometimes we were pressing, sometimes we turned the puck over at the wrong time, and the penalty shot. It was just there's probably a half a dozen key saves that he made at 2-1 that kept it that way, and guys kept pushing and eventually got to tie it up.
In the shootout, Panarin did it again, scoring for the Rangers' first goal of the shootout. Then Kyle Palmieri missed, Mika Zibanejad missed, Brock Nelson missed. So at that point, it was either up to Vincent Trocheck to score on that third shootout goal or up to Igor Shesterkin to save the Isles' third attempt to save the game. And Vincent Trocheck, he definitely redeemed himself, netted it to seal the game for the New York Rangers. Both goalies today yesterday had a great game. Igor Shesterkin, 94.4 save percentage. And on the other side, Ilya Sorokin, 95.3 save percentage. And now the season comes to an end as the Rangers have one more game. They'll play the Senators Monday at 7:30. The Islanders will visit the New Jersey Devils Monday at 7. They have another game to go after that. And both Artemi Panarin and Coach Peter Laviolette seem to be focused on right now, not looking too far ahead into the postseason. They're in the moment. They had this to say after the game.
The top of the standings is pretty close. The Carolina Hurricanes are pretty close behind. What's you guys' mindset going into the last game of the season?
We'll try enjoy the day today. And then we'll see. Try be ready for last game. Start tomorrow. So
I feel like we got one game left, and we're going to work really hard and try to make sure we play that game properly and do the right things. And when that's over, the regular season's there, we'll address the playoffs. We got a lot of work to do. The playoffs is what we're here for, and we got to get through this next game. Make sure we do a good job playing that game.
Now, I had an absolute blast reporting and watching this game at the Garden. Hope to catch you guys back here soon with WFUV Sports. I'm Will Jang.